This is She Creates Business, a podcast for wedding pros. Your host, Kari Roberts, interviews incredible women in the wedding industry who are making their mark and creating success on their terms. Join the conversation.
Hey there, and happy Thursday. Welcome to episode 50 of She Creates Business, a podcast for wedding pros. This is your host, Kari Roberts, and I'm so excited to have you here for episode 50. It feels really good to say that number. I know I've kind of been talking about it for a while. I feel like I say that a lot, like, this is a milestone. I'm pretty sure I said that back in episode 45 too, but here we are at episode 50, halfway to 100, and it feels great. So thank you so much for sticking with me, and if you're new here, I'm so pleased to have you. Thanks so much for being here. My guest today is Kari Roberts. Kari is a mobile makeup artist based out of Atlanta, Georgia. She loves to help busy, sophisticated women feel stylish and enhance their natural beauty for special occasions and important moments in their life. Kari provides an on-location pampering experience, traveling to her clients with her makeup kit, professional lighting, and chair. After pursuing her Doctor of Physical Therapy degree, she rekindled her childhood love of makeup. She brings her strong people skills from connecting with individuals and merges it with her strong background and understanding of anatomy and bone structure. With that base, she's able to enhance her clients' natural beauty without ever looking overdone. Over the 4+ years of being a makeup artist, Kari has been mentioned on brides.com and the RuffledBlog. She has won Wedding Wire Couples Choice Awards in 2015, 2016, and 2017. She has found her niche of doing natural beauty where beat face is all the rage. She will make you look like you, only better. I love that. She'll make you look like you, only better. That is the best. I really can't think of a better person to have on the show for this milestone of episode 50 than Kari. Her and I got to know each other a little bit over a coffee chat before we did her interview, and I can safely say she is one of my favorite individuals. She's also the first makeup artist I've had on the show, and I'm so excited about it because I have a childhood love that has extended into my late 20s of makeup, of course, as well. And today's show is brought to you by my course that is now open for enrollment, Podcasting for Creatives. If you're a creative woman who wants to create, grow, and publish her own podcast, I would love to have you think about joining the course. I'm so excited to welcome all of the amazing women. The course opened for purchase on Monday, March 20th, so just a couple of days ago, and class starts on the 27th. I'm so excited. You will get full access to the entire class on the 27th. There won't be any drip content, meaning you won't have to wait, each week to get the new information. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. We have live calls coming, and I just can't be more excited for this course. So head over to bit.ly/let's podcast if you or someone you know might be interested in starting a podcast in 2017. Without further ado, let's go to the show with Kari Roberts. Kari Roberts, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, yes. You are so welcome. You guys, we were talking offline. Actually, this is the second time Kari and I have talked. We chatted once, just kind of had a coffee chat over Google Hangout, and it was awesome. And I knew immediately that we were going to have a great podcast interview. And you are my first current makeup artist. I did have Monique Melton on earlier, but she'd been a makeup artist a couple years ago because now she's a business coach. So I'm really, the girly part of me is so excited about this because I want to know all things makeup artist business.
Awesome. That sounds good.
Yes. Well, so I gave everyone your professional bio there at the top of the show, as I usually do, but I would love for you, Kari, in your own words, why don't you just tell us who you are and how you're currently serving the wedding industry?
Okay. I'm Kari Roberts. I am a makeup artist here based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm open to travel. I do have a passport waiting for some more stamps, so I will travel to anyone that wants to hire me. And I got into makeup really as a creative outlet personally. And then when friends and family started asking me to do makeup for weddings and things that were really important to them, I was like, oh, I think I could do this as a little side hustle and be a full-fledged makeup artist. So that's what led me to this path.
So when you started doing it for people that you know, how did that come to pass, really? Like you said, you started it as a creative outlet for yourself, but, then creative outlet to yourself to business as a makeup artist. Tell us about that evolution.
Okay. So when I started doing makeup, we were affected from the economy shift in 2008, 2009. And I couldn't do a lot of the girly things that I wanted to do for myself, but I could afford to get a little eyeshadow here or there, a little lipstick here or there. And so I was using that just as an outlet, like I said, for myself. And then then I got interested in it. And then I wanted to learn more about it. And friends, in particular, my husband's best friend was getting married. And so I asked his fiance we were friends too, but I asked her if I could do makeup for her wedding. And she was like, sure. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is for real. So then I really because I'm a nerd at heart and I have to have all this information about everything. So I really started to get as much information as I could in that short period of time. And I went to the store and I looked up colors that I thought would complement her skin tone. And so that was the first wedding that I did. And then another one of my really good friends was getting married, and her friend was a makeup artist, and I was, interested. So I helped a little bit, but I was like, oh, I think I could do this. I think there's some talent here. If not a talent, there's definitely some interest. So I looked into getting certified for it. And I did an internship, kind of like an internship with a local makeup artist. She had a month program that I did where you could learn the fundamentals of being a makeup artist. And I learned how to get my website, and I got a logo and I got a business card. And then it was June 2012, and I was like, I'm officially a makeup artist. So that's what happened.
So how did you find that local makeup artist that you could kind of, I guess we'll call it an internship, that you could intern with and shadow, essentially, is what it sounds like. How did you find her?
I Googled her,
okay.
and she was marketing herself as a makeup mentor, and she would do this class every so often. And she also organized meetup of sorts. They weren't really called meetups, but that's pretty much what they were. And I didn't really like the meetups as much, and I didn't really like the internship as much, but I did meet a very good friend of mine at the very first meetup, and we went through the internship together, and here we are 5 years later, and we are probably each other's biggest fans as far as makeup artists go. So something good definitely came out of it.
Oh, I love that. So even though it maybe like the internship and things that the other couple things that you did weren't exactly what you were thinking, there's always another path, right? Like there's always one thing that's going to work out, and then you take that forward. And like you said, 5 years later, you're both here. I love that.
Yes. Definitely.
So you live in Atlanta, and so I wonder, and I just asked this question because I kind of live, in like a more rural community, but you live in Atlanta, so I imagine that finding makeup artists is not, I guess finding a makeup artist to mentor you. Do you feel like that's really common in a lot of areas, or do you think because you live in somewhere like Atlanta that it was easier for you to find a makeup artist mentor, or at least someone who had been doing it for many years?
I definitely think living in Atlanta made that easier. There's so much reality TV, and there's a lot of film production that goes on in Atlanta. So it was probably easier, but there are a lot of makeup artists that don't necessarily want to go that route. So even though it was relatively easy, I went with the person that had a quote unquote school, like a institution kind of.
Yeah.
But then after I did that, then another makeup artist that I was Instagram stalking pretty much, I reached out to her and I found out she did one-on-ones in a mentorship program. And then I became her mentee after that. And she really helped me grow as an artist.
That is so awesome. Okay, I have 1,000 questions. So once you were official, like, okay, you mentioned like in 2012, you're like, okay, I have this business. I am official. How did you start marketing your business? What were those first couple of things that you did? I mean, you definitely had the guts to just approach your friends and say, hey, can I do your makeup? But once you were like, okay, I'm officially a business owner, what did you start doing to really make a name for yourself and at least, get more clients?
Okay, so the one thing I knew that drew me to makeup that I always wanted to do was I liked working with brides. So I advertised, how did I'm trying to think, how did I get my first set of pictures? I don't remember how I got my first set of pictures, but anyways,
right.
I had my little website from Vistaprint. They had this little website. It was real cheesy, but I had my little website and I advertised on a local wedding website here. It was called Atlanta Brides, I think. And and then I was like, okay, I'm not getting any hits. So then I advertised on the Knot, and I got my very first bride from the Knot, and then I didn't get any hits. And then all the while I was practicing with people and taking pictures and trying to do my best to make myself a better artist. And then I decided to go to Wedding Wire, which at that point in time was very good for me because when you pay to advertise on Wedding Wire, you get the educational piece. So you get the back office, which helps you with getting contracts signed and getting deposits paid and stuff like that. But then they also have monthly webinars that help you like grow your business or work on sales or how to track what's working for you and how to minimize expenses, stuff like that. So that helped me, in addition to my girlfriend that I had met in the beginning. She was going in a different path to specialize with brides. She's in a smaller market in South Georgia, and she really buddied up with a couple of venues down there and a photographer. So she was learning stuff from that aspect, and then I was learning stuff from the Wedding Wire aspect. And then we would kind of like swap notes and, help each other. And that was when I started getting busier and getting in front of more people. And then I started getting a couple of reviews, and then I got a little badge that I could put on my website. And then I also learned to use Model Mayhem. And then I did a couple of TFP, like trade for print shoots. I know now everything's talking about styled shoots, but I guess either they weren't called styled shoots in 2012 and 13, or I didn't know, but I was doing TFPs with local photographers and models to get pictures and trying to get my name out there. And then I did a lot of cold calling. I did a lot of a list of photographers that I liked, and I would just email them or call them like, hi, I'm a new makeup artist in the area. Would you like to give me a chance? Or I'm looking to grow my portfolio. I like your work. Can we buddy up? And most of them, you never heard from, but there are a couple that did. And there's two in particular. Here we are 5 years later, our paths continue to cross. So that's kind of cool.
That is really cool. Okay, you said a couple of things that I want to circle back to because we kind of just glossed over them. What's Model Mayhem? What is that?
Okay, Model Mayhem is a website that I think it's primarily for models that want to get found, but you can get a free Model Mayhem account, and then you can search jobs, I guess, like free jobs. So I knew I wanted to do trade for print jobs. So then I would go on Model Mayhem and search trade for print jobs in Atlanta, Georgia that that did projects that was something similar to what I would want to do, like beauty or bridal, things like that. But then most of the people on Model Mayhem are photographers and models, and then they'll do paid jobs, or you can do trade jobs, or a variety of things for your portfolio to get your name out there, to meet other people, to network.
Okay, so then you just answered my second question, which was TFP, which I assume means trade for print. And by that,
yes.
I'm assuming that means you do our makeup for free. We will give you the photos to showcase your work.
Exactly. So usually with the TFP, everybody is working for free. The model's working for free, the photographer's working for free, and the makeup artist, stylist, whoever. Yeah, everybody, it's kind of like everybody's doing a collaborative effort for a particular goal.
Okay.
And, it's really risky because everybody's not reliable. You might, I did one project and I'm like, okay, can you have a flowy white dress? And she showed up with a dark black and purple dress. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, you're here. We can work with that. But so, when you're not paying people, you are at the mercy of other people. But I've had really good experiences with Model Mayhem when I was really trying to get myself out there. And I always would talk to people. I didn't do everything just through the internet. It's like we have to have a phone conversation. Let's meet in a public place. The projects were never done in a secluded area. And most of the photographers that I worked with were female. And then, of course, the models were female, too. So there is a little bit of a creep factor working with Model Mayhem, I'm not going to lie. But it worked good for me when I needed it.
Sure. Well, and you know what? I love what you just said, like you didn't just say, oh, I put my stuff on Instagram and that's it. Well, in 2012, you couldn't do that. But you were like, I advertised locally. Then I went to the Knot. Then I went to Wedding Wire. Then I cold called. Then I did Model Mayhem. Then I did some Trade for Prints plus Model Mayhem. Like, you were trying so many things. You weren't afraid to put yourself out there, which I think we could all use a little bit more of, especially like you just said, you didn't just stay on the internet behind your computer. You went out there. And I think, especially with our wedding businesses, they are hyper local. So those things we still need to be doing those things.
Yeah. I mean, it's very scary. I'm not going to lie. But at the same time, it's like, oh, the first year I really wanted 5 weddings. And it was like, okay, it's October and I've done 1. So obviously this isn't working. I've got to try something different. Mm-hmm. So it was always a means to an end. It was never all the way comfortable. But when I got my very first photographer that gave me a chance, which is funny because I saw her a couple of months ago at the local Savvy meetup. I was like, oh my goodness, wow.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Hey, you.
But it's like, when someone gives you a chance, mm-hmm. then you're like, okay, this isn't all the way crazy. I can do it again.
Oh man, I love that. And I hope you're okay with me saying this, but if listeners, I am super impressed by this and just so like Kari is awesome because she was I invited her to come on the show. I was like, hey, I know you're a makeup artist. I've been following you on Instagram. I would love to have you come on the show. And at first she was like, well, let me think about it because I'm a little shy to do that type of thing. And I was like, oh man, okay. And then she came back like a month later or something, and really just a couple weeks later, and was like, you know what, I can do this. So all I'm saying is that Kari she's so brave and she just gets out there. So I am like, for one, since I kind of know your personal background, I'm like, yeah, girl, you get out there and cold call. And now I have all these new goals for myself. Well, so now, I mean, you're an established makeup artist. I do believe this is still, would you consider this your side hustle, or are you doing this full time now?
No, it's definitely still my side hustle.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I would like it to be more, but right now, technically, it's my side hustle.
No, that's not unfortunate. I always say that, like, I think side hustles are just as awesome as full-time hustles, quote. We'll just call them those. It is 9 to 5s. There ain't no shame in that game. So not right. On this podcast, at least. So that is not unfortunate. I think that's awesome. That was going to cue me up for my next question, though.
Okay.
So I would like to know, now that you're an established makeup artist, how are you kind of juggling or balancing, however you like to look at it, your makeup artist business with your 9 to 5 business or your 9 to 5 job?
Okay, that's a really good question. My husband will probably say I'm not juggling it at all. Because I guess it's, I don't know how other creatives feel about it, but I mean, I'm a makeup artist, but I'm also a makeup junkie. Yeah. So I could spend, like right now, I'm doing some research to upgrade some foundation in my kit for a specific type of client. And so I could get lost looking up stuff. And it's not, it starts off for my kit, but then it turns into this whole other beast because I really love makeup. So I do struggle with the balance aspect. But right now, what I've been doing, because I did do a 6-month mastermind with the WBA, which really helped me kind of have a lot more focus with my business. So right now I do my business on Sunday evenings, a little quick bit on Mondays, just maybe a couple of emails just to follow up. And but definitely Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursday evenings are my nights to work on my business. And then I used to do my makeup jobs on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sunday afternoons if needed, but my 9 to 5 has gotten a little crazy. So just for peace of mind, I've had to take Friday off the table for now. Unless, of course, everything is relative. If someone really needs me and I have enough time, I will carve out my day and work around it. But generally speaking, I'm trying to do everything pretty much on the weekends.
Mm-hmm. Okay. That makes total sense. I love how you've block scheduled certain days for business, the business side of your business, and then the actual activity of being the makeup artist. That's really, I'm writing that down because I want to make sure to put that in the show notes.
Yeah, and since I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
since I really, my ideal client is special occasions and weddings, mostly that happens on the weekend. So that kind of is good for the side hustle aspect. So then I can do my 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. And then if I stay organized, then really all I'm doing on the weekend is just, painting faces.
So would you say, since those are your ideal client, would you say that your client, or the jobs that you get have mostly been weddings?
Um, No, actually,
Oh,
that's
cool.
a good
Tell me.
question. When I look at 2016 and 2015, most of my jobs were because I have gotten good relationships with a couple of photographers in the area. Most of my jobs were with one particular photographer who did boudoir photography, and she would also refer me to her other clients that were doing family photos or headshot or professional headshots. I even did makeup for her professional headshot or her family photo, one of them. And then I had another photographer that I would do portraits for, makeup for portraits.
Oh,
So,
fun. Okay. Our
but
boudoir
that was
photo is
when,
really fun. Sorry, go ahead.
yes, boudoir photo is really fun, especially from an artistic
I
perspective,
bet.
because as a bride, I always tell my brides, you really want to look timeless, and timeless beauty has a certain look to it, whereas boudoir is a little bit more edgy, and you can be a little more, a little more current. And so, if you're looking at your boudoir pictures from 2006, it's okay if you look 2006. But if you look at your bridal pictures, you don't want to, you don't want to be like, oh, that's so 2006. So the boudoir is a little bit more fun. You can do a little bit more color, a little bit more drama on the eyes, a bold red lip, vampy, vampy eyes, big long lashes. Yeah, boudoir is fun.
Ah, that sounds so fun. And okay, I'm sorry. I wanted to circle back a little bit to this question because I'm so interested. You said you love makeup, so do I. So you kind of get lost when you're buying stuff. I wonder, as a makeup artist, are there do you just shop the counter like the rest of us, like at the Mac counter, or are there other places to go? Like, are there specific places for makeup artists to get, stuff in bulk? Does that make sense? That's kind of a logistical
Yeah,
question, but
there's certain stores that are geared for professionals.
okay, cool.
And there's a really cool store here locally in Atlanta that a makeup artist did start, and it's kind of like makeup boutique on one side where you can get your makeup and lashes done, and then the other side is a retail store. But she does sell retail. Some of her retail items are stuff you can't get anywhere else other than mail. So there are some stores online that you can get stuff, and not most, a lot of makeup brands do have a professional discount, which helps a lot. Um, and then, but I do shop the stores too.
Okay.
So my favorite store is Sephora. But when I go to Sephora, I don't really want to act like I'm a makeup artist because I want to, I'm trying to get as much information as I can. So I want to look like, old girl off the street, sell me this product. Tell me what you know.
Girl
And
off the
then
street.
if you say something new, I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. And then if they say something that's not quite right, in my mind, I'm like, oh, I think she said oily when she meant pigment, but whatever. But I don't like to act like I'm a makeup artist. I just want to be just a shopper.
Oh, I like that. That's a good strategy because then they I bet you they treat you differently.
I
Like in
think
a good
so
way. They'll tell you all the goods instead of like, oh
because
girl, I can't tell you.
yeah, because my thing is like I'm still spending my hard-earned money. I want to be sell me. And Sephora's got such a great reputation for being a good for having great customer service. So, and then if anybody doesn't know, I told this on my Facebook Live a couple weeks ago. Sephora, you can always get 3 free samples every time you go. 3 free samples of hair products, cologne, perfume, makeup, lip gloss, whatever. So Sephora's the bomb. And you don't have to buy anything to get a free sample. But yeah, I love Sephora. And when I go, I'm like, sell me.
Yes. Oh, okay. I'm loving that. Yes, Sephora is dangerous for me. Whew.
Yeah.
Well, tell me then. Okay, you just said Facebook Live, so let's talk about that a little bit. I know you use Facebook Live and Instagram Live. Like you've incorporated those tools into your business from a marketing
hmm
and education perspective. So,
hmm
kind of talk to us about how you're using those in your business.
Okay, so I originally started doing YouTube a couple of years ago.
Mm-hmm.
My sister and my cousin really talked me into doing it, and I did it because I felt like I was a makeup artist and I was supposed to be doing it, but I was nervous, just like what you mentioned. I was nervous at the same time because I think you all you see sometimes is what you're not doing, or you're comparing yourself to someone else, and you're like, oh, I'm not that good. I can't do this. But I went ahead and put myself out there with YouTube, and it with my 9 to 5 being a little bit more of a 9 to 5 than it was a year or so ago. It just was very time consuming, and we moved, and the lighting in this house is a little different, and so it just was a little bit more time than what I wanted to spend, and then the editing, and then the music overlay, and everything like that. So Instagram Live and Facebook Live works for me because I've got a newsletter that goes out every other week about a little beauty tip to my subscribers, and then I call them Charisma Beauty Tips because I used to, little tidbit, I wanted to call my makeup business Charisma with my name, Kari. Side note. But anyways,
we're gonna get back to that. I promise you that.
So I have my little Charisma Beauty Tips that goes out every other week, and then sometimes every week on the off week I'll do like a 10 to 15 minute Facebook Live, and then sometimes that's in correlation to what the newsletter was the week before. But I use it because the ladies in my mastermind had really told me that I need to use my personality more
Right.
and then put myself out there more, get more comfortable in front of people. And that's a way where you don't have to be perfect. Your lighting doesn't have to be right, and you don't have to do the editing, and you don't have to have everything perfect. And with my busy schedule, that works for me.
So there's a lot. I love that you're doing the lives because they are very casual and people can get to know the real you. But what I think is important to point out here is that you do have a strategy, and it's very smart. It's not super rigid, but there is still a strategy there. And so I think that's important to point out because it's a great strategy. And I think that it's consistent, which is really the best strategy of them all. So I love that. And so now, are you not on YouTube at all, or do you post to YouTube every once in a while still?
Yep, I still have a YouTube channel. I haven't posted on it probably since my last YouTube video was winter, I think fall lipsticks, which I think I posted November 2016.
Okay. And I also just wanted to circle back a couple of times, listeners. Kari has mentioned her mastermind, or the Wedding Business Academy, or WBA. That is Ginny Krause's and Kristen Kaplan's program. It's a 6-month group coaching program. They were our sponsors in February, and they've been on the show a couple of times. By the time this interview airs, their registration for their program will be closed. But if you want to go to the weddingbusinessacademy.com and sign up for your email list, they will notify you when applications are open again for that program. Kari, as she mentioned, is one of the graduates, and I've actually been able to chat with some of the other graduates from that program as well. So if you're interested in that sort of education, it's called the weddingbusinessacademy.com.
Yep.
So anyway, just wanted to point that out. So YouTube was overwhelming. There's a lot that goes into it. Where do you do your lives? Like, I know you're working all day. So do you do them at your house in the evening, or is there a time structure for those?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. You can go to my Facebook on Thursdays, every other Thursday. So it'll be, I don't know when this will air, but this week, Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the first one I did sitting on my bed, and then another one I did. Oh, 2 of them I've done sitting in my bedroom, and then 1 of them I did sitting in the kitchen.
Okay, I love that. See, guys, how casual that can be. And I'm so impressed with you getting on that live video. Video gives me the hives.
And then my YouTube, back when I had first started doing it, my boxer, when he was the only child, he made a couple of cameos behind me. He'd see him walking past. And then my last in Facebook Live, my puppy, who's as big as him, she was all, she tried to get in my lap. So my dogs do make cameos on occasion when I'm doing it.
What, Mom? We're on video? Okay, let us get ready.
Right, exactly.
Well, what do you think, aside from the exposure and, of course, getting to, entertain and educate your clients, what would you say from the business side you've gained from doing doing Facebook Lives and doing Instagram Lives and getting on video for YouTube? What are some of those tangible things that maybe if we incorporated those into our business, we might see as well?
Okay, so the first thing that I knew I struggled with, that I knew I needed to improve, was my confidence.
Okay.
And putting yourself out there. Like I told myself, okay, if I'm not going to do YouTube right now, I've got to do something to show me and share tips with my followers and my fans and friends and everything. So it's putting myself out there has made me gain confidence. And then also the feedback that I've gotten from people that have watched the video, and then people that have also read my newsletter, which kind of correlates with the videos, has also really boosted me. And it has made me feel like, man, I do know what I'm talking about. All these, these last couple of years, I felt so inadequate. And then I see, I may be inadequate in certain areas, but I'm more than enough in a lot of other areas. And that has made me feel a lot more confident as an artist.
That is so wonderful. I'm so glad. How would, this is kind of off the topic of video, but how many brides would you say now you're doing a year? Or just, I guess, makeup clients? They don't have to be brides, because I know special occasion is your thing too.
Last year was actually not a good year. 2016 wasn't good. I probably only did like, I don't know, maybe like 15 to 20. Yeah, last year wasn't that good. 2015 was actually a much better year. Mm-hmm. I probably did closer to 30 weddings and special occasions, but I changed my pricing scale in 2016, but I didn't change my marketing scale, the way I marketed and interacted with clients, and I think that that's why my business suffered. So now I think that, the Facebook Lives on a regular basis, being more consistent on Instagram, having a newsletter where I'm sharing more information so people can trust me a little more will help me in the long run. Because I'm getting a lot more inquiries now. And I'm getting a lot more of, I'm not available, or I'm being a little bit more choosy because I am busy with my full-time job right now. And so I'm making some of those decisions like, it's not a good fit personal. Like business-wise, it might make sense to book you, but then overall with my life, it's not a good, smart decision. And I'm confident enough to say, I'm not available. Whereas maybe like a year or so ago, I would have been so hungry. I would have been like, yeah, I'm going to do it. And then I would have paid for it later.
Oh my gosh. Okay, brilliant. I love that you just said that. So a couple of things. When you say that you changed your pricing structure, does that mean you raised your prices from 2015 to 2016?
Yes, I raised from 2015 to 16, and then I raised again from 16 to 17.
Oh my gosh, I love it. And you're not afraid to say no because it doesn't line up with your personal values or what you're, doing in your own personal and your other professional life. That is awesome.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, it's still a little you're like, ooh, a little nervous about it, but yeah. But I guess that's where the confidence comes in. We're like, I'm worth more, and I'm worth the downtime. I know from a physical perspective, I can't work 7 days. I can't go 100% 7 days a week,
yes.
Week after week. I know personally I need a break. So
yes,
yeah.
Otherwise, you'll burn out, and then you'll be like, oh, I'm not going to do this for a year. And then that will, you know what I mean? Like, instead of just taking those little intermittent breaks. And then also too, I mean, what you're not saying is, if you're paying the bills with this business, so there are sometimes where you just need to do the work, right? Like, let's be realistic here. Sometimes you do need to take the job. Sometimes you just got to do the work, especially if you're paying the bills 100% with your business. But if you have that flexibility, again, that's where a 9-to-5 is awesome because you don't have to be so rigid. You can be just a little bit flexible because it's not your 100% support system. So I think there's value in both of those things. And I really appreciate you like testing and tweaking. It's just like with your marketing efforts, like you tested, you tweaked, and you found something else. And so, gosh, I love how that is that's a really consistent theme with you running your business. And I think that's
didn't
really
notice
impressive.
That, so you just said that.
It is. You're not afraid to try something. And then if it's not working, you either tweak it or you move to something else. I think that's so awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay, I have 2 more questions for you. These are some of my favorite questions of this show. as always, I would love to know, I mean, you're managing a business, you're managing a 9 to 5, you have 2 fur babies, and a husband. So tell me what tools you use to manage your business, your projects, your life. What do you have going on?
Okay, so I have to thank Kristen because she introduced me to Inkwell Press, and I'm a huge fanatic for everything Inkwell Press. I use let me see, it's right here, the weekly kickstart for my to-do, because thanks to my mom, I write to-do lists all the time, but now I actually try to scratch stuff off my list. So I use the weekly kickstart for everything. I used to, I'm sorry, I'm going to ramble a little bit. I used to try to compartmentalize, like, this is for my business, this is for my 9 to 5, this is for personal. And it became very overwhelming, and I felt like I was working on something all the time. And I came across, I don't know what it was, a blog or something, where it was like, you're one person, so you've got to manage it, you. So this really helped me just kind of pull everything together. I do everything color coded. So personal is one color, makeup business is one color, and then like anything that's business related for the household or for my job is another color.
Wow.
And I put everything I need down on my weekly kickstart, and I go through that on Sunday evenings. I love football. So like Sunday evenings when we're watching football, I'll post my Instagram pictures for the week. I'll go through my weekly kickstart, and then I'll go over my calendar and my planner, which is also color coded. And that helps me kind of stay focused. I'm still working on automating stuff in my personal life. I don't do good at that, but that's something I'm working towards. And then as far as my business is concerned, I use Honeybook for all my forward-facing stuff with my clients. And I use Asana for my other things for me, like my to-do list for what I have to do behind the scenes. And that really helps me because I like lists. I like to be able to have it written down and then scratch it off.
Oh, yes. Those are, so paper planners, Honeybook, Asana, those are, you are not alone. You're in great company. They have been mentioned multiple times on the show, so that's wonderful. And you color code? Like my stationary paper loving heart is exploding over here.
Yes, I do. I think I have 6 colors. Yeah. And then it's like, if I can't find a pen, I'll just have to go to the store and buy a whole new pack. And then I'm like, I'll find that color later. And I have to have Papermate pens.
Ooh, Papermate, like flare pens?
No, just Papermate. I like ballpoint pens. I don't like gel pens, but I like the way that I sound like such a dork.
Nope,
I like the way Papermate pens glide on the paper because I press really hard.
Yes.
And I hate gel pens because it always bleeds through.
Okay, I'm going to send you some flare pens because they're not gel pens, but they are by Papermate, and I think you might love them.
Okay.
I'm going to send you some. Seriously, I'm obsessed.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna look forward to those.
Yeah, you should. Okay, sorry everyone who does not like stationery. That was a sidebar. But if you do like stationery, you should check out Papermate flare pens from Amazon. They are awesome. Okay.
Okay, cool.
Back to our regularly scheduled program. So finally, as we wrap up here, Kari, it's been so fun to get a behind-the-scenes look of a makeup business. I cannot tell you how much I have enjoyed our chat. So I would love for you to tell us really what's on the horizon for you and for your business in 2017. What are you excited about?
Okay. I am actually in the very end stages of a complete rebrand. Ooh. I redid my my website is being built as we speak. I think I get my tester live site tomorrow. I cannot wait. I got a new logo, new stationery set, the whole everything. So that's super exciting. And then I also have bit the bullet and decided to step out, going back to my confidence thing, and I'm going to start teaching workshops. So by the time this airs, hopefully I'll be advertising my workshops. I'm planning on doing at least one a quarter, and I'm hoping, my big dream is that someone will book me to do a workshop outside of Atlanta.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. How fun. Okay, tell me more about the workshop. So is this going to be for other makeup artists? Like you're going to be mentoring, like teaching workshops, or is this going to be workshop for brides for makeup?
It's actually going to be workshops for regular people, just regular people. My first, because
love that, just regular people,
just regular folks, because my style of makeup is more like a natural look. I don't really do, over the top makeup. It's just not my style. And so I've had a lot of clients over the years ask me to teach classes. And so I just was like, okay, I'm going to do this. So basically, the first class that I've written up is called Flawless Face. And I've already done a tester with a group of ladies that I've got really good feedback on. And so basically, it's a 2-hour class, and I kind of walk you through the steps of how to create that flawless, I woke up like this face. And then the second class that I'm going to teach is how to take that face and then glam it up for like a day or for, evening out with the girls or something like that.
Oh my gosh, I am so excited for you. Thank you for sharing that with us. I cannot wait to hear more about that and just to hear how it goes, because I know you and I will stay in touch.
Yes, definitely.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible. Kari, thank you so much for being here and for sharing with us. It has truly been my pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and asking me to get out of my comfort zone.
You are welcome. There is more where that came from. Thanks so much, Kari. We'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to She Creates Business. Please take a minute and head to iTunes to leave an honest review so we can help more wedding pros find the show.